is going on, everybody? Welcome to post game of Ring the Bell. Post game of Phillies game one against the NLDS. I really don't even know what to say other than game one goes to the Philadelphia Phillies with a shutout. The first time in the 2023 season that the Atlanta Braves have been shut out at home. How about that? Keep throwing more shit on the field, you idiots. So I'm Christy Francesca. That's Jason Kent. Dean Holzapple is here. Dean is, I guess, bowing to the Phillies about how great they played tonight. Our greatness.
Mine and yours. Podcast of greatness over here.
How do I sound?
You sound
Beautiful.
perfect.
Okay.
I wish you sounded like this every episode.
Well, fuck you.
So my bad for giving you a compliment. So Jay and I are here sipping on some adult beverages after a solid dub there.
Me too. Some water.
Swig of high noon for the working man. I don't even know where to start here, boys. Look, we predicted, Dean and I predicted that this series was not going to leave Philadelphia. And I'm starting to believe, and Jay, you asked me right before we hit here, is this a sweep? I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I do think what this game tells us is it's not going to leave Philadelphia, I think, no matter what. And you also asked the question, why do you think Strider didn't get that extra inning? Because if they get to a needy situation like in game 3 or 4, they're going to probably want him in like a Madison Bumgarner type role to bring him out there.
To me, this game, I know they're losing. At that point, they did bring him out. They just not drink White Russians. But he's your ace. This, to me, I felt this is the most important game. I really thought who wins this game wins this series. I really believed it. And to me, with the way Strider was pitching, he didn't look bad. The one home run he gave up, but outside of that, he pitched really well. It was kind of they stole a lot of bases, and that's how they were able to score the run. And it's a 2-strike pitch against Stotty that gave him 2-0, but he was looking great. And it looked like Minter that next inning they really fell apart. It was only a run, but at this late in the game, one run, in the ninth, the difference between 2 and 3 is huge. So I was kind of shocked they took him out, but I was glad they did. Happy they did.
When they got that third run on that catcher's interference, which, look, I just want to let everybody know, I saw people complaining on Twitter. I just want people to pay attention to one thing in that whole entire play. I want everyone to go back and watch Sean Murphy's reaction. Yeah. That is everything that you need to know on if it was a catcher's interference or not. And if you listen to them dumb down the sound, you hear the double tap. And to me, right then and there, but for me as a player, someone who's, who plays, if that catcher didn't believe that was catcher interference, he would have went bananas.
Yeah.
And
I even believe too with JT, like if JT's going to call it, JT's been behind the plate enough. JT definitely knows it is. And like you said, Murphy, you could tell right away Murphy thought it was as well. So in Frank Core is an idiot. He's a Brave, so I expect him to sit there and complain. But even whoever the other guy, I don't know his name, but they were saying like, listen, Sean Murphy's reaction to that tells me everything I need to know about it not getting overturned.
I agree. So Phillies take game 1. They shut out the Atlanta Braves 3-0. Next up is Monday night. Zach Wheeler toes the rubber. But look, there's so many things to go to in this game, but let's kind of start it off with what I really want to talk about, and that's October Bryce Harper has entered the building. This guy reached base all 4 times, hit a ball about 197 miles per hour off of Spencer Strider for that home run.
It's the hardest ball Strider's given up in his career.
Yeah, damn right it was. And look, I've said this to you. I've said this to everybody, and everyone knows this. I think Bryce is a living legend in Major League Baseball right now. He's 30 years old. He has now spent like half of his life in the limelight. He's a beloved teammate, a tremendous leader, an elite player, and clearly as clutch as anyone in the game. He is just he's not everything he was supposed to be. He's more. And he's more as a Philly, which makes it so. And Dean says it all the time. It's like, people almost forget that he was a Washington National with how great he's been as a Philadelphia Philly. And this is unbelievable how he continues. Like, this is David Ortiz stuff. Like, this is what Big Papi would do. Yes, I will guzzle all day long there, Jay. It's just amazing how no moment, regardless of what it is too big for him. And Jay, I got the feeling when he came up for that at bat for the home run, you almost felt like something was coming, like whether it was a double or anything. Like, I just felt like an extra base hit was coming. Something big was going to happen here. I didn't expect, right off the bat, 115-mile-per-hour home run, but it happened. As we now get to game 2, after taking care of business in game 1, Dean, I'll start with you. It might be rhetorical, but it's still something that needs to be said. If Bryce is now Bryce and he's back to doing what he's supposed to do, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that Phillies are going back to the NLCS.
I think they are now. We beat Atlanta's best pitcher.
Yeah,
that was the hurdle.
That was their best shot.
And we have our ace going on Monday night, so I have no reason to believe that we're not going to go into Philly 2-up.
And then we have our ace number 2 going Wednesday night.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wait and see what he does. But yeah. I mean, Bryce being as good as he was tonight is huge, because when he's on, that he can propel this team to greater things. I mean, maybe not Alec Boehm, who's swinging at pitches
we'll get to that
3 feet off the plate in the dirt, but
he was somebody we were worried about. He 2 for 2, 2 walks after really struggling in the wild card. He came through tremendous. Like, any doubt I had is gone. Like, he's playoff Bryce is back, and we're going to ride that wave. And defense Trey showed up as well.
Yes, he did. Trey Turner is a hack, everybody. Just remember
that. Yes, those were words that I uttered that I, at the time before August 4th, were semi-true. However, when the playoffs, it's a whole new season. It's a whole different beast. You want players to do things that they're not used to doing. And, defensively this year, obviously Trey Turner left a lot to be desired. But, man, I'll tell you what, that double play, what was that, the 7th inning or the 8th? The 7th inning,
it was the 8th. There's the 8th.
That 8th inning double play was very, very reminiscent of that J-roll Chase Utley against the Washington Nationals. What was that, way back in, was that 2010? Maybe 2011? It was bases loaded, 1 out in the 9th, and that was like that game-winning double play. Do you remember that, Jay? It was at Citizens Bank Park against the Nationals. But it was very reminiscent of that. But, nonetheless.
The thing that you miss, too, like, even if it's like Trey Turner, like, most times he's not making that play. But even if it's not a double play, because it was very tough to get it, to get that play. It gives a run there. So now it's a 2-run game going into the night. So I think just him being able to make that play, it definitely changed because they had their big guys up. Their big boys were coming through. Acuna got on. They had, they were getting those guys getting a little bit rolling, and you were getting worried there at the end. And they, Trey, he is a hack of defense, but he needed to come up big like Casty did last season. Casty came up big last. So, their playoff baseball is different. So, they go a little bit harder in playoff baseball.
Yeah, Anthony, thank you for the comment. I wake up like this every single day, so thank you.
A
lot of work that goes into this.
He's got, he got a whole bottle of a certain sticky white substance that rubs on his face every night.
Whatever helps. So yeah, you're right. And Turner, he went 1 for 4 at the plate with a run. Again, Harper got on base all 4 times. Alec Boehm. I'm telling you, that was probably the worst 4 at-bats I've seen in a baseball player in a long time.
Why is he at 4 and not Cassie? Like, I would be okay with Cassie. Like, why is he at 4?
Well, lately, hasn't it been when Harper's at 3rd? It's Boehm
I thought they've been having Cassie behind him a lot. Or JT.
I guess
I don't know.
they must have maybe.
I mean, he did his patent. I'm going to ground to a double play when we have men on, and then he didn't swing at a single strike all game. He was swinging at balls completely out of the strike zone. Like,
Yeah,
and then
it's
just
tough.
getting called third strikes on balls in the middle of the plate. So he looked lost tonight.
He and Johan Rojas, which I understand, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
They both look completely overmatched tonight.
Yeah.
And that was hard to watch. So I expect Bohm to be significantly better in game 2. Bryson Stott also. It felt like to me for the whole entire a game, regardless of what the score was, Spencer Strider had a damn good game tonight.
He did. He
was very good. He went 7 innings, only 5 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and
it could have been more though. If we could have capitalized in that first inning, this could have been 5, 6, 7 nothing probably. I mean, we had 2 men on until Bohm effed us over like he usually does. But
and 4 of the 5 hits Strider gave up were from Stott and Harper. So those were the guys that got to him. Stott was just unreal. Again, he had also had a walk, an RBI. JT was 0 for 2 with an RBI, obviously with the catcher's interference. Cassie was 0 for 4 tough at bats. Brandon Marsh also did not look that great at the plate. Neither did Johan Rojas. So, Dean, it goes back to what we've said. Sometimes that bottom part of the order can be a black hole.
Yeah.
And it really was for the Phillies tonight. Their 7, 8, and 9 went 0 for 9 with a walk. So that's I'm sorry, 0 for 12. My bad. 0 for 11. I can't count. 0 for 11 with 1 walk. Just not the most ideal outing from your 7, 8, 9 hitters. And then Schwarber, who did lead off the game with a big double, which we thought. I mean, look,
trajectory not enough. I was hoping.
Yeah.
In my head, I honestly thought, Dean, that might be our only shot on Strider. That might be it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking after the first inning. I was just like, this guy. I mean, yes, we were talking about last night that you can hit him. He's not like he's a great pitcher, but he's not like prime Randy Johnson and stuff like that.
No, he's not Pedro.
You know what I mean? And it was like, that could have been a tone setter. Schwarber, great double. And then he does a boneheaded thing, like try to run the third when that ball. It's right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like why run the third? That was so stupid. And I was really kind of nervous. Like, great. Like, and then a few innings happened, before we got that run. And I was like, I don't know. I got a feeling that might have been it for us tonight. Like our pitching is like a dam holding, like it's like a broken dam holding back water. Like at any second, it's going to blow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it didn't. So, I mean, I was wrong. And I admit I was wrong in our text group when I said that. Like, I mean, I'd rather be wrong 100% of the time when it comes to shit like that. But
of course. And another great thing also,
I just had that feeling.
Yeah.
Strider,
sure.
Like he's just gonna, and he did kind of shut us down. I mean, we got an early run. What was it, the third, I think, or the fourth? I can't remember. And then Bryce's home run, and other than that, he was dominant. He dominated this lineup. So I mean, I wasn't entirely wrong.
By the way, just a quick little thing. This is for Jay. I think the Diamondbacks may have just retired Clayton Kershaw. So
is it that bad?
It's 5-0, and Kershaw has yet to record an out.
Wow.
So I think it's time for him to ride off into the sunset.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play the lesser team again. I want to play a real team in the NLC.
I don't care.
No, I want to listen. In all intents and purposes,
who cares?
I like the Dodgers too. Everybody knows I like.
I picked the Dodgers to beat them, so I need my prediction to be right.
I'm a Phillies fan first, and I want to play the lesser team in the NLC. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't have a Dodgers tattoo on my arm. I got the Phillies P on my arm.
The one thing I was super impressed with too, though, we got people trying to call into the show. Can you take one call in there? No, okay. Sorry, guys.
Who is it, John?
John is. No, we have Mr.
Maybe don't go to Xfinity Live, John. Go ride that bull.
It's not that John. It's a different.
Take your shirt off and ride that bull.
Well, oh God!
But all the stolen bases, the franchise record, 5 stolen bases tonight. That was quite impressive.
Yeah, I was just about to literally go into that. The Phillies had 5 stolen bases tonight, which is the most in postseason Phillies history. It is the most by any team in the postseason since Kansas City had 7 and 12 innings in a 2014 wild card game. The last in the 9-inning game was the Angels had 5 way back in 2007 in the ALDS in Game 2. It's just wild what we're seeing here. So here's another cool stat is, Atlanta becomes just the 3rd team in baseball history, just the 3rd team in baseball history to be the team to be shut out in the first game of postseason after leading Major League Baseball in runs per game. It's only happened 2 other times, 2001 ALDS and a 1935 World Series Game 1.
Who was that 2001 team?
That was Seattle against the Cleveland Indians.
Who was the center fielder for that Seattle team?
That would have been Mike Cameron.
Oh.
Yeah,
2001, you idiot.
He wasn't. Griffey already was his career away in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he was already in Cincinnati. That would have been Mike Cameron.
If the Phillies do beat the Braves in this series, they will be the only team in history to beat their division winner in back-to-back years in the playoffs.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
This is something. It's just crazy to think about what this Phillies team does when everyone is against them. And I think for the majority, there's so many people that were against this Phillies team because of how dominant this is. And we went over this. The Braves are such a historic team, a historic offense. They were 1 home run away this season from having the most home runs in baseball history in a season. And to think that the Phillies come in Atlanta on their home field, Game 1, NLDS, Spencer Strider, their ace who's healthy, is on the mound. You come in there and you shut them out 3-0. Like Jay, what do you think this does to the Braves? Do you think it does anything, or do you think they're just going to get, they're going to use this day off as, it's a good thing and they'll come back on Monday? Or do you think this is more of how do you take the momentum away from the Phillies?
You can't. I said it earlier. I believe the Phillies coming into the playoffs, playing that wild card game, as much as you want to get rest. It's a baseball is a feel. They had a few days off, and then I do believe the pressure of they lost. They won the division last year by a good amount. Phillies were well behind them, so they expected to blow the Phillies out. They lost in 4. Okay, now you win the division this year in Philly. You're feeling yourself, kind of doing your thing in Philly, and then you have to play them again. And now, you go down, you can't score against them. And it's not even their ace. It's not even their top 2 guys. I think Atlanta's feeling the pressure because, how could you not at this point? The second year in a row, how could you not feel the pressure?
What this Atlanta team reminds me of? It reminds me of the Dodgers from last year and from 2019, where they played last year. The Dodgers got embarrassed by the Padres, and then in 2019, I think it was the Nationals that beat them in 5 in the DS as well. I think it was the DS. 2 teams that they were heavily favored over, and those were like record-setting Dodgers years. And they just collapsed against a lesser team, far lesser team than both them in both of those years. This is kind of what this Braves team is reminding me of last year and this year, where yes, they won that World Series 2 years ago, 2001, right? 2021, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just like kind of like the Dodgers, where you're like, okay, great, you win 100 games a year, but you're not getting back to the World Series now. You're bowing out to lesser teams early in the playoffs. That's kind of what I see with this Braves team, because I really do not see the Phillies. We got one in Atlanta. I don't see the Phillies dropping the series in Philadelphia.
I agree.
I'd be surprised.
I'm getting to that point.
It's crazy to say, I would really be surprised if we didn't sweep them.
Wow,
this was a huge win. This was a
me and Dean
really
on the same.
was.
Me and Dean on the same page.
Yes,
for
pretty
sure.
on point with your predictions last year.
Yeah.
Until I got to the World Series.
So before, as we transition out into Rob Thompson, I do want to say the Phillies postseason Game 1s under Rob Thompson goes as follows: 2022 Wild Card Series, a road win; 2022 NLDS, road win; 2022 NLCS, road win; 2022 World Series road win. And then you go down here, wild card series this year, home W, and then another road win to lead off a game one. Jay, like, what is it? What is it about game ones that the Phillies just seem to be absolutely unbeatable? Is it preparation, or is it the fact that no, they didn't get that first round bye? They got to, they got in it, like they didn't have time off. They just went right into continuing playing baseball. Do you think that plays into it?
I do. I think
agree.
because you're not trying to prepare. You're not we're going to sit back, prepare for no. You're going right to the next day. We got to play a game. We're already in game mode. I really think it has a lot to do with it. And it's weird because you see some of the other, Houston this year had that bye and they just dominate. So, it's just, I think the Phillies, they're a team. They have a good combination of leaders and youth, and they're just playing loose. Like nobody's really expecting much of them. Nobody thinks they're going to win the World Series outside of really us. I don't think people are picking them, but they're starting to see like, okay, this team is reminiscent of last year. They're coming in playing loose. Atlanta looks kind of tight. It just makes for, and he trusts his guys, and I think we saw that today. As much as we've ripped him.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, believe in it. He trusts who he has, and that's why they love him. And they backed when they needed to back him most. They came out today and backed him 100%.
For sure. And look, let's kind of go into the controversy. This was a 3-0 win, but not without controversy. Ranger Suarez was, look, I could say this. He was dominating the most dominant offense in baseball. Like literally, he was dominating them. He was, he went 3 2/3, 1 hit, which was a soft hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He did not give up a single hard hit ball. He didn't. And then out of nowhere, he gets pulled. And he's done after 3 2/3. And I felt like the whole Phillies world was like, is this modern baseball again coming into where there's analytics telling Rob Thompson, let's get him out. And since the bullpen gets a whole day off tomorrow, let's get to the Braves as much as we can with our arms, with our bullpen that's been apparently, top 5 in baseball the last couple months. Dean, I'm going to ask you, I know our fourth, member of this team was intoxicated and sending us a very, very strong voice message about what Topper did tonight.
I didn't even listen.
Of course, neither did I. But I'm assuming, obviously,
I listened, John.
Obviously, it's something. It worked, but it's easy to sit there and be like, "Oh, Topper was a genius." When at the end of the game, it's still a 3-0 win. I get it, but at the moment that it happened, Dean, what were your thoughts on that when Topper took out Ranger? And Ranger was visibly pissed.
Yeah, I don't. There are a couple arms in the bullpen I trust, but I was nervous. I get analytics as a part of this game now, but I'm still very much kind of like, man, like what was it, 3 1/3 or something like that? I don't even remember when he got pulled, honestly.
3 2/3. So yeah.
So I was just kind of like, man, this seems like it's too early, But I mean, well, it was the right decision. What the hell do I know? I'm sitting in the basement recording a fucking podcast. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm trying not to curse, but
it's okay.
I don't want our sponsors to get mad. So they screw them. They ball trimmers. Come on.
Look,
but I what do I know? I'm not a manager, so clearly it worked, and kind of like last year, the bullpen wasn't stellar in the regular season, but they were like lights out in the postseason. What did they come in? And they gave us, 6 1/3 of, or 5 1/3 of, or whatever, whatever, I'm trying to say, of perfect baseball. You couldn't pitch better than they pitched, without going in no hitter,
Right. Right.
I was a little more confused when he pulled out Kirkland. I was like, come on, this guy's, yes, I thought that was like a pitch around. So why would you bring him in just to pitch around? And then you pull him for Stram, who's not that good,
I don't think that was what it was. I think he was legit. Like they saw if he didn't get that first out, I thought once the inning went so long, they shouldn't have used him.
Yeah.
But I think everybody had that thought. Why are we taking Ranger out here when he looks to really be dominant?
His curveball was on.
He was looking great.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. That's a lie.
Yeah, it does.
That's a lie.
Yeah, it does.
But no, he was so. But and with how kind of you feel about your bullpen, Sir Anthony came in and looked, outside the tree, gave up, but he finished it. So
Yeah.
every move to work. So it's tough to really, hindsight's 2020. It's tough to argue with it now, but I think that goes into showing Topper as much as the guys have maybe not, I want to say failed this year, but not lived up to expectations. He still believes in his guys. Is brought to you by the initial nebulizer. Why are we doing this? Like that one, I'm having a great thought here, and y'all
That's
are
funny.
killing me.
You're
It's
out of
all right.
breath and you look sweaty.
Well, I'm sweaty. It's hot in here. I'm glistening.
I'm a
That's
little,
good.
I'm a little shiny too. Don't worry.
You are, but it's just, hey, if it, I can't argue with the moves because it worked.
I agree.
rather see Ranger go longer, but I don't. Again, you don't want to save him for later because there may not be a later.
Yeah.
Get what you can out of him in game one.
Mm-hmm. You're right. So let's kind of like break down the bullpen. Jeff Hoffman comes in and pitches a third of an inning, had a walk, but also had that big strikeout to get them out. Sir Anthony was okay. I mean, look, he gave up those 2 hits right off the bat. I'm thinking, oh dear God, here it comes. Sir Anthony's just going to lose this thing. But then he strikes.
Thought the same thing.
And I said this out loud about 5 times, and I think I tweeted this as well. If you watch almost every pitch where JT Realmuto was setting up, the pitch didn't end up where JT was setting up. So regardless of where he was setting up, I don't think Sir Anthony had any idea where that fastball was going when it left his arm. But I will say this. That 99-mile-per-hour fastball struck out 3 guys in a row in the Braves to get them out of that inning. And it was huge. It was. Alvarado comes in, gave up a hit, but then he got out of that. Orion Kirkering, an inning, gave up a walk, but still got out scot-free, perfectly fine. Stram comes in, gave up that 1 hit, almost, I thought, gave up that 3-run home run to Olsen, but in the 8th, but everything was all right.
What does that do for your bullpen's confidence? Like now, how much we went in, and you had to go 5+ innings, and then in that 8th, Kirkering walks Acuna, and you're facing the middle of that lineup,
right?
Like you said, historic, and they
like top
didn't
to bottom,
score. So
I
think to me, while we made, it's definitely, we thought, hindsight was it wasn't a mistake in the moment you think it is. That's got to, build that bullpen. Okay, we can shut these guys down. We know we got the stuff to dominate these guys, and I think that puts a little bit in Atlanta's head. Man, we couldn't hit them. What do we do?
Yeah, and look, the Braves had 5 hits tonight. 4 of them came off the Phillies bullpen. 1 off a Ranger, but still no runs. 3 walks the entire night. Look, it was a masterclass of pitching. It really was. Kimbrel comes in the 9th and completely shut down the Braves. It was phenomenal. So obviously, hindsight being 2020, it was like I said, a masterclass of managing a bullpen and a pitching staff. My assumption only tells me is that that Thompson wants Ranger to be available in games 2, maybe games 3. Out of the bullpen if need be from a lefty matchup. If that ends up being the case, then I guess right then and there, I understand it. But in the moment, Ranger is literally dealing a gem. I mean, an absolute gem. The Braves could not figure out Ranger Suarez. And I just thought at the second that he was taken out, look, you can't call us pessimists or loser fans for being upset. Just watch Ranger's reaction. There was a point where they put the camera on Ranger in the dugout, and there was 2 coaches talking to him, like calming him down in a way, I feel like. So he wasn't too happy either. He was not ready to come out of that game. And if you looked at how the game was going, it just didn't make sense at the time. However, things happened the way they happened. The Phillies dominated. So I'm not going to sit there and complain about it anymore because it ended up being great. Look, we're at the end here. We've gone a half hour game one. Game two is Monday, 6:07 p.m., I believe. Zach Wheeler on the mound against Max Fried. So this is as perfect of a situation for the Phillies as you can get. Fried is his first start since being injured. So we don't know what kind of pitch count Fried's going to be on. I'm hoping it's a first inning pitch count when the Phillies knock 4 or 5 off of them in the first inning, which would be wonderful. But let's kind of wrap this up, guys. Who was your player of the game for game one?
The bullpen. I got to go with them off. You know, you go that far. Yeah, definitely the bullpen.
Okay. Dean?
Well, I'm going to go the pitching in general. I thought, you know, because Ranger pitched great and then the bullpen did their jobs. It'd be easy to go with Bryce, you know, but this game was won by the pitching. I mean, clearly. I mean, we shut him out. That's pitching. And
I agree.
Just a little I can't think of the word, but like I guess a side note or a little. I'll throw a bow into Trey Turner for that incredible defensive play he made. So
I agree. That could have saved the entire series.
Yeah.
When we look back on that play by Turner, I am going to go bullpen, although I want to go Bryce to go basically get on base all 4 times and hit that home run. But still, to get that kind of performance from the bullpen, that's incredible. And it's not something we expected on game one of the NLDS, but we got it. And it was a complete team victory. All right. So game two is Monday night, 6:07 p.m. is first pitch. Zach Wheeler, the ace, is on the mound. Jay, Dean, you guys feeling good? You think this is going to be a win, or do you think the Braves maybe wake up here?
I think it's going to be a win.
I think it's going to be a win too. Wheeler's coming in. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys, head over to SeatGeek.com right now. Use our code on the bump for $20 off your very first ticket purchase. If you're trying to get to game 3, hey, look, if the Phillies win on Monday, game 3 is going to be a very, very tough ticket to get. So if you're looking to get to game 3, head to SeatGeek.com right now. Use our code on the bump, all one word, to get $20 off your final ticket price on your first purchase. We're here to help you guys out. Until then, head over to Ring the Bell 856 on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, please. Share us with your friends and your family. We're probably the only Phillies podcast, honestly, that is giving you this sort of material after each game. And as often as we do. So we're going to keep doing that. And look, we're going to push this all the way to the World Series, I think. And that's just I said that in March, so I got to stick with it. All right. So this is the Ring the Bell show. I'm Chris C. Francesco. That's Jason Kent and Dean Holzeppel. And we'll catch you guys here Monday night. Have a good one and go Phils.